Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo santri semua, apa kabarnya? Bisa harap semuanya dalam keadaan sehat walafiat. Kita akan belajar seni budaya. Kita akan belajar tentang seni lukis. Sebelumnya, apakah santri-santri semua tahu tentang lukisan ini? Lukisan ini banyak sekali beredar di sosmed ya, ataupun di film-film. Nah, lukisan ini erat kaitan hubungannya dengan Indonesia. Kenapa? Sebelum itu, kita simak dulu adegan film yang akan disampilkan berikut ini.
On August the 26th, 1883, the tiny volcanic island of Krakatoa erupted, creating one of the worst natural disasters in recorded history. In less than 48 hours, it destroyed hundreds of towns and villages and left more than 36,000 people dead. Those that survived the eruption left diaries, eyewitness accounts, and interviews. They were collected by the geologist Roger Verbeek, one of the few scientists to have witnessed the eruption. This film is based on those accounts.
We were living in the most volcanic region on the planet, Indonesia. There are more than 100 active volcanoes here. Krakatoa is just one of them. The volcanic island of Krakatoa sits in the middle of the Sunda Straits, 30 miles from the mainland. For centuries, the people here have lived within sight of the volcano. We thought it posed no threat. I could have saved these people. They witnessed the last days when the world changed forever. On the 20th of May, Krakatoa began for the first time to emit vast quantities of smoke. It should have been a warning to us, but for some, this was just a chance to make money. On the 27th of May, 1883, the steamship Loudon took 86 paying passengers on a day trip to Krakatoa.
Look at them. Fools. They're paying fools, Lindemann. 25 guilders ahead. Your good health, Captain.
Keep it at leeward, Mr. Jansen.
Aye, aye, sir.
Don't like the look of that smoke.
What smoke? Lindemann, I smoke. It doesn't make me dangerous.
You just count your money. Leave the ship to me.
God in heaven.
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! How far to Whitson, sir?
3 miles, sir.
Quick as you can.
Hey!
I didn't know then what the volcano was telling me. These blasts were a sign. Deep below the earth, magma was clearing a path to the surface. It was only a matter of time before it escaped.
Throughout May and into June, the three craters of Krakatoa continued to emit jets of steam. The gases caused strange blue and green colorations to the sun. They were considered harmless by the inhabitants, the volcano being some 30 miles from the coast. Life continued as normal. By now, the volcano was in full eruption. Every second, almost 1 million cubic meters of ash, rock, and pumice were being forced out of the vent, crashing down the mountainside. This avalanche had an extraordinary effect on the sea. It caused unpredictable swells and rapid tidal movements. The volcano was about to claim its first victims. In less than an hour, the column of ash was 30 miles high, fanning out in all directions. Soon it would engulf both land and sea. Sailors that survived the eruption reported a strange glowing. Gases and ash mixed, creating violent electrical discharge. The lightning is dangerous, but ash is a far worse threat. Just a foot of ash is heavy enough to destabilize a ship. After 20 hours of constant eruption, the magma chamber of Krakatoa was empty. With nothing to support it, the volcano began to collapse. The resulting blast was so great, it was heard 3,000 miles away in Australia, the loudest noise in recorded history. Millions of tons of ash and pumice poured into the ocean, triggering a tsunami more destructive than anything that had come before.
The wave was more than 40 meters high. It lifted the lighthouse from its base. It destroyed the entire coastline. Towns, villages. There was nothing they could do. Thousands died. What was unknown to me then was that the volcano had one last terrible secret to reveal.
The collapsing volcano had unleashed a final avalanche of scalding ash and pumice. Where it made contact with the water, it rode on a cushion of steam. Ash, gas, and pumice, heated to more than 500 degrees centigrade, ripped across the ocean towards the highlands of southern Sumatra.
The eruption destroyed 165 coastal villages, and it left more than 36,000 people dead. There were reports of bodies and pumice being washed up on the coast of Africa a year later. The Dutch authorities ordered 250,000 gallons of gasoline to be used in the burning of the bodies.
Roger Verbeek's work on Krakatoa went on to become the foundation of modern volcanology. It provided scientists with a detailed eyewitness account of the entire cycle of an eruption for the first time in history. The eruption had far-reaching effects. 20 million tons of sulfur were released into the atmosphere, causing extraordinary sunsets across the planet and lowering global temperatures well into the 20th century. Of Krakatoa itself, almost nothing remained. 12 square miles of solid rock had disappeared in the space of 48 hours. The volcano had literally blasted itself apart. But in 1927, from 300 meters below the Sunda Straits, it erupted again. As Verbeek predicted in his writings, a new volcano formed, growing at a rate of 5 meters every year. The Indonesians called this volcano Anak Krakatoa, son of Krakatoa. Today, millions of people live within sight of it. And it's still growing.
Setelah menyaksikan tayangan video barusan, menurut kalian apa hubungannya dengan lukisan itu? Ya, benar. Lukisan tadi bertemakan tentang kejadian alam yang luar biasa yang mengkritisi tentang jeritan alam. Jadi lukisan ini berjudul The Scream. Lukisan ini dilukis oleh seorang seniman yang bernama Edvard Munch. Dia adalah seniman berkebangsaan Norwegia. Beliau melukis pada tahun 1893. Lukisan ini sangat mempengaruhi perkembangan ekspresionisme di Jerman pada awal abad ke-20. Nah, lukisan ini merupakan ikon penggambaran penderitaan dan merupakan salah satu bagian dari seri yang disebut The Frieze of Life. Lukisan ini sempat dicuri, tapi pada tahun 1994 berhasil ditemukan kembali. Lukisan ini ada beberapa versi. Versi yang pertama yaitu versi yang dilukis di atas kertas karton yang berupa tempera berukuran 83,5 x 66 cm yang sebelumnya terdapat di Museum Munch, Oslo, Norway. Kemudian ada sebuah lukisan minyak tempera juga dan pastel di atas karton ukuran 91 kali 73,5 cm di Galeri Nasional, juga di Oslo. Nah, versi yang ketiga dimiliki oleh Museum Munch dan yang keempat dimiliki oleh Peter Olsen. Munch belakangan juga menerjemahkan gambar ini ke dalam bentuk litograf, sehingga gambarnya dapat direproduksi atau diperbanyak dalam berbagai tulisan tinjauan di seluruh dunia. Nah, sekarang harga lukisan tersebut sebesar 199.922.500 US dollar. Dalam sebuah catatan dalam buku hariannya, Munch menggambarkan ilhamnya atau inspirasinya untuk lukisan ini. Ketika itu, saya sedang berjalan di sebuah jalan kecil dengan 2 orang teman. Kala itu matahari sedang tenggelam. Mendadak langit berubah menjadi merah darah. Saya berhenti, merasa lelah dan bersandar di pagar di atas fjord dan kota yang biru kehitaman tampak darah dan lidah-lidah api. Teman-teman saya berjalan terus, akan tetapi saya berdiri di sana, gemetar dan diliputi rasa cemas. Dan saya merasakan jeritan yang tidak henti-hentinya melintasi di alam. Nah, dari tulisan tersebut, Sabrina Lauren pada tahun 2005 menyimpulkan bahwa orang yang ada di lukisan tersebut adalah si pelukis sendiri alias Munch. Sebetulnya tidak menjerit, tetapi sekadar bereaksi dengan ngeri ketika mendengar jeritan alam. Dengan menutupi kedua telinganya dengan tangannya. Itu merupakan gestur seseorang ketika ia terkejut. Kemudian Munch berusaha keras untuk tidak mendengar jeritan alam ini, sehingga menempatkannya dalam keadaan seolah-olah sedang mengalami serangan panik. Posisi di mana ia melukis dirinya sendiri adalah reaksi refleks yang kadang khas dari siapapun yang berjuang untuk menghindari suara yang menekan, entah suara yang sungguhan atau yang dibayang-bayangkan. Nah, itu tadi sekilas tentang lukisan The Scream yang dilukis oleh Edvard Munch, seorang pelukis yang berkebangsaan Norway yang sangat mempengaruhi dalam perkembangan sejarah seni rupa di Eropa. Nah, menurut pendapatmu, apa sih yang dimaksud dengan seni lukis? Silahkan jabarkan deskripsi tersebut sesuai dengan penghayatan masing-masing, sesuai dengan pemahaman masing-masing. Silahkan catat di buku tulis, kemudian foto dan upload silahkan kirimkan di e-learning SMA Al-Azkar. Oke, gitu aja dari Miss. Insya Allah kita lanjut lagi minggu depan. Apabila ada salah kata mohon dimaafkan. Semoga kedepannya pelajaran kita akan semakin menyenangkan. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.